and you've heard me say this before, I just get really, I don't know what that is, impassioned, aggravated. Ugh. Um, the way it's being talked about a lot, because I feel like it's doing you all a disservice and it's having you feel like you have to put yourself in a box when that's not what branding is. Hi there, Jody Bentley here, actor and CEO of Actor Insider and the Actor's Office. And today I want to talk about 5 steps to build your brand. Now, branding. We hear a lot of information about branding out there. And I gotta say, and you've heard me say this before, I just get really, I don't know what that is, impassioned, aggravated. Ugh. The way it's being talked about a lot, because I feel like it's doing you all a disservice and it's having you feel like you have to put yourself in a box when that's not what branding is. And then actors start to define themselves like girl next door, or I have the vulnerability of Laura Linney and the charm of Rachel McAdams, and that's not helpful. It's not helpful at all. For me, branding is about allowing who you are to come out, allowing who you are to be seen and heard in the world, not trying to fit a box, not trying to be a type, not trying to fit a prototype, not trying to do any of that. So I want to share with you these 5 steps to build your brand. This is what I walk my clients through. This is what is in my membership, the Actors Think Tank. It's in my program, the Actors Branding System. This is my main 5 steps of how to build your brand in a way that is authentic to you, in a way that feels good to you and not limiting, because we want to see the special freaking snowflake that you are. We want to see you because you're a unicorn. We want to see this, right? So step number 1, you really get to understand who you are, and the roles you love and your strengths. Now, I know this sounds like, well, duh, Jody, of course I need to know those things. But I think a lot of actors gloss over it. And I go, okay, well, why do you like this? Why do you like this side? Why do you like this character? Why are you doing this? Why is this on your reel or whatever? It's like, oh, well, my acting teacher gave me that scene and she thought it was good, so I like it and I use it. Okay, but what roles do you want to play? Right? Really understanding who you are and where you feel at home and what characters you are most excited about. And also, what are your strengths? Right? And I think we're so good at looking at what we're not good at. It's like I can ask an actor what they're good at, and they might go, well, I'm not really good at, improv or comedic timing. Okay, well, I didn't ask that. I asked what you were good at. So I really invite you to think about what are your strengths as an actor and a human, because they can cross over. So really, it's like a personal assessment piece to just really understand you and the career that makes you most excited. Step 2 is uncovering your branding themes. This is what most people miss. And for me, this is the crux of it. This is the glue that holds the brand together. This is what really makes you go, oh, I get it now, is really understanding on a psychological level the characters that you are drawn to and why. And you get to go deep on this. You get to really understand the psychology of these roles that you're drawn to. And newsflash, it starts to get really close to who you are. It's very funny. And I don't care if you're looking at roles in comedy or drama, the themes really end up being the same. And we get to go really deep on what these themes are, because that's what's going to separate you from everybody else. Your POV is what separates you from every other actor out there who may be in your same category or type, right? So you really need to understand your POV, what makes you tick, how you approach these characters, or these characters that you're drawn to. Like, what are these stories that you can tell better than anybody else? You have to know that, because it just gives you an ease in how you approach things and a knowledge of what separates you from everybody else. Third thing, you get to understand how you're perceived. So obviously we get to know, oh, when I walk in a room, this is what people see, right? And yes, a lot of that is dictated on, your bone structure, potentially your hair color, hair length, how you carry yourself, your energy, right? So everyone, we make flash judgments, I will say, anytime we meet someone, anytime we see someone. You're flipping through Instagram and you see a person you've never seen or see their reel, you instantly have a thought about who they are simply based on how they look or how they're talking about themselves, how they dress, whatever it may be. So you get to understand how you are perceived. That is, it's important to know, what do people think when you walk in a room? And is that what you want them to think, or is there a disconnect with how you want to be perceived and how you're perceived now? So that's why it's really important to do that work. Fourth thing, once you've done your own assessment, you've got your branding themes, and you've gotten your external perception data, you get to collect all of that data and you get to organize it. You get to see it for what it is. You get to have a system of how you look at it to really uncover the essences of you when we take all of that and blend it together. What happens is most actors just do steps 3 and 4 when they think of building a brand. They understand how they're perceived. They go out and they ask people for adjectives or what celebs are like me. And then they get all this data back. They might organize it and go, well, 20 times someone said this word and 20 times someone said that word. So that's my brand. It's bubbly and fun. And that's what they think a brand is. And that is so surface. And my question is, what do you do with that information? So many actors come to me and they go, well, I got all this data. And I'm like, well, what did you do with it? And they say, I don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to organize it or distill it. And that's what step 5 is really taking that information then, distilling that information down, seeing the commonality and threads in your themes, in your own essences, in the perception of you, and distilling that down into 3 core essences and your branding statement. And that is vital, but you got to distill the information to make sense of it. You have to make sense of the information. Why? Because then you get to turn that data, turn that information into headshot looks, into color schemes, into logos. All of that becomes super freaking easy once you've done those other 5 steps. But if you're just doing steps 3 and 4, you're simplifying the process too much, leaving yourself out of the equation and not really understanding how to assess and distill the data into things that are actionable for you, into things that then you can go out and craft in the world and people go, oh yeah, I get it. You might have 3 words to describe yourself, but how are you using that? How are you putting that in your marketing? And that's why if you can take it all and distill it, I create a branding chart with my clients, and that chart is where they build every tool from. Every marketing tool is built from that chart because that chart is you. So those are 5 steps to build your brand. I love talking about branding. I love helping clients build their brand. It's such a integral part of what we get to do as artists. Some of you know this about me, some of you don't, but I went to NYU Tisch School of the Arts. I went to a really great acting school. And and in school, I was playing, hunchbacked old men. I was playing 50-year-old women. I was playing whatever, because the school stretches you. And one thing that school did not do, and most schools do not do, is go, cool, now you've gotten your craft. You have all these tools. You know how to be free. You know how to be spontaneous. You have a technique. And now let's go out in the world and let's figure out what you sell. Let's take this product and sell it. Get your way in to then expand. And no school really teaches that. And I floundered for a long time, you guys. I floundered for 8 years. 8 years I floundered. And then I started reading about branding. I started reading about marketing. I started educating myself on businesses and why are businesses successful and how are they doing branding? How can I take those principles that work, because business fundamentals work, how can I apply it to me, a living, breathing artist, creator? And that's what I did. And that's how I started creating my branding systems. And only then when I did that did my career take off, when I was in New York. So branding, it's so vital for you because it's going to give you confidence. And know your brand is not versatility. And know your brand is not vulnerability. We all are versatile and we all are vulnerable. So we get to do the work to really understand your place. because there's a place for you. You belong in this industry. You do. You just have to make it clear for other people to see it. If other people see it and it's clear, they go, I get it. Yes, let's bring them in. If it's not clear, a confused mind will always say no. So if you're having trouble getting in those doors, if you're having trouble getting an agent, it's 99.9% of the time a branding issue. So let me know what you think in the comments below. If you want to continue this conversation, DM me, comment below, whatever it may be. Let me know and let's have a chat. But again, if you're not getting the roles that you want, if you're not getting seen for the roles that you want, you're not getting those auditions, and you're not getting a team member to help you, again, it's mostly a branding thing. All right, let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you later. All right, bye.